Now, I want to talk also about. We know also that, of course, the mafia did prospection job. That means that they were trying to lure people into using that and making promotion for that system, mafia touring system, behind my back and without my consent. This is most probably why the local authorities of the city of Silly, village of Silly, have been attracted into doing that. Maybe other prominent people like Mr. Public Notary Philippe Binot, who died and whose office was located Rue du Notariat. Many people have most probably laundered money because they knew about that system that was using my name and my identity behind my back. This is the case also of the family of Van der Straten, Edgar Van der Straten, and they were all, not surprisingly, they were all good friends of Mr. Nicolas Dewey. They used to meet with him, make parties with him, because they were all money launderers, using my name behind my back, behind the back of my children, and behind the back of my ex-wife, without saying anything. Okay. So, now let's talk about King's prosecutors and investigating judges. I told you Michel Claes, investigating judges, is on the side of mafia. I'm gonna talk to you about also King's prosecutors, King's prosecutor of Mons. We have many evidence against him. One of the evidence is, of course, that he authorized these illegal monitoring devices and monitoring monitoring methods against us, while there is no reason for that, and while it can only be made for a very limited period of time, and each time the reasons have to be assessed once again, and in our case there is no reason for that. That is one. Two, another evidence is that, of course, local police forces have been protecting the mafia, also in the village of Silly, for which he is competent. But also, three, and that is also very important, we have recently got an evidence, very important evidence. A paper in which King's prosecutors of Mons and Till Emmanuel, another mafia member, try to make us believe, because the mafia is constant deceit. They constantly deceit. And this paper has been made to make us falsely believe, as if we were naive, that they don't know where I am now, and pretending that they don't know where I am, and that they are looking for me, and that they don't know where I am, while actually they have proven so many times that they can crack any computer, any headphone, smartphone very easily. Also, what is to be known is that a smartphone or a computer, you leave 100 of traces, and it's very, very easy to crack, and to also to have access to any kind of information, including bank accounts, including bank cards, and actually the police does everything with that. So they want to make us believe that they don't know where I am. But this paper is enough to also blatantly prove the involvement of King's prosecutor of Mons and Till Emmanuel. Now, I talked also about the King's prosecutors of West Flanders, who is the one who is charged of coming with fake charges against me, my ex-wife, and to put us into jail, because he's the one who is competent for both mafia proceedings in Belgium, mafia proceedings at the District Court of Veurne, within the framework of which so Mr. Wim Maas has in charge of liquidating the legacy of my mother, Nicolas Debity, has drafted an illegal inventory of goods, the goods depending on the legacy of my mother. And on the other hand, there is the mafia proceedings in Bruges, 16153A, which I told you both are depending upon the King's Prosecutors West Flanders. And also another evidence that shows that all King's Prosecutors are involved is that we would have been to many places to complain against. We wanted to complain against many people in Belgium. We did many police stations in different parts of the country, and each time we noticed that they had been contacted behind our backs because, of course, as I told you, massive surveillance methods have been used in our cars, and they know where we go. They knew where we go. They could listen to our conversations in our cars, and they could then act and contact those police stations behind our back, telling us, hey, they are coming to you. Please do see to it that they cannot introduce any valid complaint. And this was happened. It's always the same methods of interference behind the back. Also, what I wanted to tell is that we were, of course, prevented by whom? By the police in Belgium to introduce our papers to the king, to the king of Belgium. When we wanted to, at a certain point, of course, regarding the fact that we could not attack them at police stations, we decided that we would launch criminal suit. We would suit them. We wanted to, but therefore in Belgium they need to use bailiffs, and so we started to write to bailiffs. But therefore we use our computers. We leave traces, and once if they can accede to your computer, they can also contact them. This is why we never managed to actually also sue them at courts. This is also why we had to leave Belgium, noticing that we couldn't do anything because of police forces acting behind our backs. They are the guilty in Belgium. They are responsible for the fact that we had to flee to Hungary, and even in Hungary the police forces are also acting mafia-like, just like in Belgium, meaning that we feel that we can do also nothing in Hungary against these mafia proceedings. P 20025/2019. It's the same as in Belgium. The justice does what she wants, and she wants to deprive us illegally of our parental authority. And once that would be done, the mafia would stay among members of the mafia, and we would be deprived of any means to protect our children with the paper stating that, hey, they have dismissed the legacy, hey, I have dismissed the legacy, so they have nothing to do. They should live freely. They should live without debt. They should also live with us, their parents, according to the Hungarian legal status of the children and of us. That is according to the rule of law. They have to be with us right now, and they have to be freed from any debt. They have nothing to do with what their Belgian grandmother did, and they should live with us abroad, outside of Hungary, and they should be with us since 2 years now. They should live, for instance, in Austria, where my ex-wife has a flat for them, in the mountains, next to ski tracks, where my daughter and my son could learn German, which is much more valuable than Hungarian. But all this is conducted by the Belgians. They are the one who are pulling the strings behind also the activities of the Hungarian mafia cell and the Hungarian police. They are the one. Okay. But police, yes, because we noticed also in Hungary the same methods used in Belgium. Namely, we also noticed some kind of spying device in our cars in Hungary, when we were in Hungary, for instance. Same methods were used to know where we go and to interfere behind the backs. This also explains why we could never request for asylum so far, but I will come back to it later.